Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the Catty Shack. So we're here in front of what I call the Jacksonville Park doors. We are going to be building another water feature out here. So we are currently out at Jade's. So you'll see that here in a second. And at Jade's, she has an existing pool that's been there for a long time. Why don't we just go back and I'll go ahead and show you everything. So for all you guys that are newbies, go ahead and open this guy up. Welcome to Jurassic Park. We have grown to love this place, and actually there's some really cool stuff they're going to be doing. So you will not be entering through this way. All the people who have been coming here for 10 plus years will experience this in a much different way than we have always. You'll have a whole new entrance. We're talking water features and landscaping for them. So as they're building new enclosures, these cats are getting bigger and bigger upgrades. So you'll see there's all kinds of balls. In there you can kind of see a couple bowling balls. They'll play with those. In our water features in the back, you throw the big balls in that are way at the bottom, or the bowling balls. For some reason the bowling balls float. You would never think that, but they float. And they'll play with those. They'll roll them around, they'll chomp on them. It's crazy. You can barely see maybe Michael's truck back there. So that's where we have to stage everything. And for our project we're doing today, everything gets staged there, and we bring it little bits at a time all the way down. This is about as close as I get to this cage. A good level of fear is needed. They are not kitty cats. Whatever they can reach into, grab and yank, they're going to, because they're just looking to play and mess things up. They call them the cheese heads. These cheese heads are the lucky ones that get to use it all the time. It's funny because the ones we built it for are the amigos. They're over there. And I've already seen them in the water more than these guys. So I'm more attached to the amigos because that's what I thought we built it for. We got Sean here, the backside. You see Sean's butt. You got Mike on the right, you got Sammy on the left, and you got Nick in the machine. So the 5 of us out here today, we're working on this. We just got started. I'd say, don't even know what time it is now, but I'd say about 2 or 3 hours ago we got started. And we're spending almost all of today just working on how to install, because we're not huge fans. You guys, all of our fans out there, you know we like to build ecosystem water features. That is rubber liner the entire thing. You can't do that with the Tigers because the Tigers are going to tear it up. So it has to be a concrete shell. And so we're basically melding what we do into the concrete shell. So what's really nice is Jennifer and volunteers were able to go ahead and carve out some of the pool and do the concrete work for us that was needed, which I wish we probably should have taken some pictures for you. I apologize. But there's a really cool shell that's there that we install our liner in, and we're working on just majorly that part today. Once we get that all done, concreted in place, everything else becomes super easy, the way we always do it. Except we still have to make sure our liner can't get exposed. So we can't use little tiny gravel here because the cats will just dig in it, find the liner, and go right through it. But yeah, this is the start of it. So we'll have the waterfall coming in right here, doing a little different effect this time. So we're gonna have, this one was a big drop coming into the pool. This time it's gonna be a smaller drop coming into the pool and a nice stream going up to a bigger waterfall. So it's gonna be a whole different theme. Number one, visually, it's gonna be nice to look at this compared to that. Because if we do the same thing in every exhibit, it's gonna look kind of funky. But yeah, this is our project and it's for Jade. I don't know if you guys have met Jade. I'm sure, you know what? I'm gonna let Jennifer, she'll introduce you guys. I know she'll take the time to do that. Jade, like I said, was the one last year. I was right here, John. So I was walking by like this, right? So these cats were not in here while we were building this. They were stored in a cage. They have these separation cages that allows them to put them somewhere while they maintain the actual enclosure. So they were put away. And I forgot that Jade was out. She was down the bottom of this pool right here, and I couldn't even see her. She was submerged so deep that just her eyeballs were sticking out, I'm guessing, because I didn't see her. And I'm walking in to go this way, and she leaped up and must have like pounced against the fence about this tall. I'm telling you, if you ever had that happen to you with a tiger, you'd pee yourself just like I did. All right, but yeah, so this is our enclosure. You can kind of see our small space that we've got to get in. So we are literally bringing every single rock. The machine comes in because the machine cannot fit, or it's really hard to get it fit. We just set them here. And then we use this machine that we get in the closure one time. It stays in here until we're done with the project. And then we reach out with the boom, grab these rocks, drag them into the enclosure, and then do our thing. So, needless to say, it's a tough one. But regardless, I mean, you got all of us out here, even Sean and myself, so we'll get this thing done on time, no problem. Watch out, John. Woo, you almost went down.
Welcome out here to Caddyshack, folks. We're a wildlife sanctuary on the north side of Jacksonville, Florida. And today we've got earthworks out here doing some amazing stuff for us. So we're mostly a large sanctuary, I should say, for big cats. Big cats, tigers, lions, leopards. And here we've actually got a tiger habitat. In this habitat, we've already had a pool because tigers love to swim. It's one of the activities you might actually see them out in the wild doing from time to time. In fact, if it got cold enough and you could get a thick layer of ice over it, they'd still break that ice to take a dip for the day. That's how much they love to swim. So a water feature is an amazing fun enrichment for these guys. Earthworks is back out for the second water feature they're doing for us today, and they're just getting started with those beginning steps for it. They're starting to place the rock, kind of see where they want things to go, how they're wanting this waterfall to fall. We've had a lot of prep work we've had to do for them though already. We had to get a fence line up so that our animal wouldn't necessarily come in and enjoy any of the progress that's being done, because she'd love to play with it. She is a curious cat, just like they all can be, but we got to keep everyone safe in the meantime. So we've got a split fence line already up. We've already started to lay some flagstone around the edge of her pool as well, kind of give her a little bit of a larger patio for it. So you're seeing some of those first steps to it. Now these guys are coming in. Like I said, they're getting that initial stuff started, laying some rock, and we'll see how it goes from here. Have some fun stuff expected for her. Oh, good morning. Good morning, big guy. How's it going? Oh. Now, like I said, we are a sanctuary for big cats of all different kinds. In fact, we even have a few non-cat members. We're not very discriminatory. All of them need good homes. So that's a Boo right there. He's a new male lion that came to us about a year ago. So maybe not as new to us. In fact, he just had his year anniversary here November 18th. Hi, big guy. Ooh. Now, he just came from a facility that was running out of space, and he wasn't necessarily getting along with a lot of the neighbors and some of his housemates. So they needed to find a new home for him. They knew we were actually looking for another male lion, because you'll see right back there in the corner, you'll see Naira, our female lioness here. So we were looking for just a companion for her to have. We don't do any breeding here because unfortunately there are just too many of these guys in captivity. But these are very social animals. Lions love that pride mentality, that group family unit. Unlike most other cats, our tigers, they're more solitary animals. So they like their space a little more. But these guys, they do like that companionship. So we worked out trying to find a mate for her, and worked out great. Just someone to enjoy the time with and enjoy the days around here. Hi, big guy. Oh. You good boy. Oh. Hi, big girl. Come right here. This will be perfect. We show off your pool, right? Oh. Hi, big girl. Oh! It's like a loaded gun sometimes. Hey, come here. Oh. You tell him hello? I don't know if you guys heard that at home, but that's Amara. That's what we call chuffing. That's kind of a little bit of a hello or a happy hello greeting for us. Now, you're not going to hear that unless they're completely comfortable with what's going on and what's around. So you can tell she's very content. She's not uncomfortable at all. Something here we did want to show you was kind of the evolution of our pool building, because you're really kind of getting to see some of the good stuff, but where did it all start from? Where have we been growing from there? So all of our tigers do have pools. Some of them might just have one of these above ground tubs for their pool. It's a progress we're slowly getting to where everyone can get in-ground pools, but at least they've got this to begin with. And then from here, about 4 or 5 years ago, I'm going to take you over to Zarina's habitat now. This is one of the first in-ground pools we ever went to build. Now, we didn't know if we were staying here or if we were moving to a different piece of property. So we didn't want to get too crazy with it, but we had a tiger that had a really bad back injury. So we knew an in-ground pool would be perfect for him. Let's go show you that right now. This was that in-ground pool I was talking about. Now, Zarina, who's nice and asleep in her cabin. By the way, have I mentioned a tiger will sleep about 15 hours a day? A lion will sleep up to 20. So if you happen to see sleepy cats around here, definitely not uncommon in the area. But anyways, on to the in-ground pool. So this was one of the first in-ground pools we went to build. Like I said, we had a tiger that had a really bad back injury, so we needed to make something easier for him to get in and out of. So we kind of did a small pool with a little gradual incline. You may notice that pool's not filled all the way. That's because Zarina is spoiled. If I fill the pool all the way, she won't use it and get into it. I actually have to give her about 1 foot to 2 feet of dry concrete, then she'll get into it and use it. But that's another story altogether. She can be as spoiled as she likes to. So First in-ground pool we ever went to have here. We poured this guy. We poured another smaller pool. Like I said, we kept it kind of small because we wanted to just play with the shapes, play with the ideas of it. But we didn't know if we were going to stay here, if we were moving somewhere else. In the meantime, we bought over 200 acres of wetlands behind us. So needless to say, this is home. And doing these big in-ground pools, that's where it's going to go from there. So we'll go take a look at those next. So, like I was saying, we kind of went from those smaller in-ground ones. We knew we were going to be staying here on property. We're like, okay, let's get a little bit bigger with it. Let's see what we kind of like. So, we went a little longer with the pools. And then these pools here are actually about 3.5, 4 feet deep. So, not completely deep that a tiger can't stand up solidly in it, but deep enough that they can still swim in it if they really want to. Now, this is one of the ones we're going to go back and have Earthworks out on a water feature for us. So, stay tuned for those videos in the future, definitely. But after we had this pool, then that's when we went to this big guy last year with Earthworks. In fact, Jason had given me a call around January. He'd mentioned that he wanted to try to partner up with us, see if there was anything they could do to help us out. And I said, funny thing, we're getting ready to build a new in-ground pool and we wanted to try a water feature. You guys are the professionals. You know what you're doing. Where should we go? What should we do? By the way, this is for a tiger, so we got a few obstacles in the way. And this is what these guys did for us. Now on this pool, you can tell we went on ahead, we put in a little bit of a bigger patio, like I've mentioned before. They're not the best about wiping their paws off when it comes to it. So this really kind of helps to cut down on the cleanup and the dirt and the sand in the pool. And then same thing with that water feature. Not only something fun for them to play with, but it helps out a lot with that water circulation in their pools for them. And then another awesome enrichment item, kind of like we've talked about in the past here, that big log that we have in there. As I mentioned before, for your cats at home, you've kind of got maybe cardboard things that they can scratch on and claw their claws on. However, around here, those won't last very well. I got to have something a little bit heavier duty for about a 500-pound tiger. That's where that log comes into play. And I tell you what, they love to sit right there in that pool and chew right on that thing. So a fun enrichment item for them. So now we've gone to this bigger style pool, a little bit of a bigger patio. And that's when we said, you know what? Let's update Jade's pool and let's give her something awesome here. So we've come in with this new water feature, added that deck on. You guys will start to see the rest here soon.
So Jade is the tiger whose enclosure this is going to become. She is kind of limited to that side there, and where I'm sitting here is going to be right next to the waterfalls for her that we're building. They're going to take down the 2x4s and she's going to have plenty of space to hang out and enjoy her new pool and waterfalls. She is going to be one happy cat for sure. Right now, we're on the second day. We're stockpiling dirt. You can see the mound behind me. And that's just because once we start building this waterfall here, we're going to cut off our access to bring dirt in. We can always wheelbarrow it, but there's no sense in, breaking our backs, and we can just move it with this lovely piece of machinery I'm on right now. Everyone at Catty Shack has been super helpful and accommodating. This is one of their machines. They got machines galore out here. So we brought one of our Caterpillars, our skid steer front end loader. We're using that to shuffle the material, but instead of having us, shuffle back and forth and getting one of our machines out here, we're just borrowing Catty Shack. So thank you for helping and making this a smooth install for us. And yeah, it's myself, Sammy, and Mark out here this morning. The first hour or two is just offloading the truck and getting it staged, and now we're going to start working. We just fueled this thing back up to full, so we'll be good for the rest of the project. And once we're complete, absolutely, you have to come out here and check it out for yourselves, because seeing these animals in person is pretty amazing. I don't know, I've never had the chance to see this many big cats in one place. You go to a zoo, they have a few here and there. But they got a couple lions, a ton of tigers, searles. They got stuff I can't pronounce. They just acquired 2 bears actually, so they're kind of in hibernation mode. So come out, check out Catty Shack for sure. It's a great place and super friendly staff and volunteers. Where I am standing right now is over the stream that's going to be coming this way and falling into the pool. we have this nice little rock. This is gonna help frame out and have this waterfall just come in right in this area alone. We use the same principles as always for construction. You know, we have our rubber liner, we have underlayment, gravel, boulders, dirt, plumbing, pumps. It's all the same, except in this application, we have this pool that was built for us, and we actually have, this rock is sitting on a little recessed lip. So it comes down about 5-6 inches lower than this elevation here. So you can see this lip that got cut out for us, and it goes all the way down and it comes back up on that side. It's just a little different than normal. It's nothing that we can't handle or that we haven't done before. We've done a few of these in the past. Essentially, it just takes a little bit more thought process to it. So the first thing that goes down, of course, like always, is our underlayment. Now here we went super thick. I think we have at least 4 layers of underlayment on top of that cement because it was an unfinished pour. So a little uneven, and there's just some weird lumps and bumps in the cement. On top of that, like always, we do our rubber membrane. Then we set our first rock. Now, this is for massive cats that weigh up to, you know, 700 pounds. So not a lot of small rock. And even these larger boulders, everything's gonna get cemented. This is where it gets a little different. Our stream, we have this waterfall rock here backfilled somewhat with gravel. And typically what we would do is just kind of like foam and, you know, use our expanding waterfall foam to deter this water to where we want it to go. In this case, we're actually going to be pouring cement through the entire stream, and instead of using gravel, which the cats could probably just like claw and pick up, and once they get down the liner, it's done. You know, it's toast. They will definitely puncture holes in this. So we're going to pour cement through here and then use flagstone as our rock medium through the stream. So the flagstone will be, you know, set in the cement. They won't be able to move them. Nothing will come loose. And then same thing, these joints and everything will use some cement. So Jade can come in here and she can actually lay down in the stream if she wants. We have a little bit more to go this way. Our 2 big frame rocks, we're gonna get a lot of height out of this. It's probably gonna end up being about this high, waist high for me. 2 frame rocks are gonna come in pretty close back behind these 2 larger connecting stream rocks. We'll have a nice big fall here. Instead of a spillway like we usually do, we're gonna do an aqua block. So we're gonna plumb up the bottom of an aqua block so it upflows and it finds the low point, which is our waterfall, and create that look. This is all gonna get bermed down, of course. That's what we're working on now, is moving a bunch of dirt. Mark, Sammy, and myself are out here this morning. We have the 2 Duffney brothers floating around somewhere in Jacksonville. I think they're heading out here. Jason has the most important job today, and that's finding us lunch. So already delegated that. He's good to go. And I think Sean was taking a personality quiz or something along those lines. So, you know, when they get here, I'll give them the reins and not really intrude on the brotherly love that flows between the 2. And it should be 2 days. Wednesday we should be able to turn this thing on, and then maybe one day a final touch-up.
Here, actually, let me give her one of these pieces right now, and then take the other piece and put it back over. Put it by the pole right there. Hey, big girl. I know. Give you a little treat. Good girl. Good girl. Just a little treat. And you want them to have raw meat. You want them to have all the bones and everything. That's all good for them. They need that stuff. So no cook shenanigans here. Yeah, they're like, oh wait, I know what she brought. Jade, you want to go? So Chuck, do me a favor, on over there, bring me the blue lock. The blue lock. At some point we're going to use it here, but I'm going to let her through in this bigger area. Hey Jade, why aren't you going through? Good girl. Okay. So, just go ahead and hold on to it for right now. What we'll do is we'll end up pinning her lock down once I'm done with this here.
Did they like
Hey, big girl.
stuff?
She's laying in it at least, because you can see her up there going in it. She wasn't a quick reactor to it, but she at least had fun and took her pumpkin in it while it was in the lockdown with her. So guys, this is Jade right here. She's actually the young lady that's going to be getting this amazing water feature that Earthworks is working on. Now, of course, we can't have her in there while they're working on the water feature. We got to keep everybody safe. Unfortunately, I'm sure you hear all the time little accidents happening at certain facilities and stuff like that. And the number one thing around here is safety, safety, safety. We are a no-touch facility. So outside of a couple of handlers and our medical team, absolutely nobody touches or handles these animals. They are very large, very exotic, still very dangerous animals, no matter how sweet they may seem. Like I said, she's very cute and adorable, but still a wild animal, and we've got to respect that, and we have to make sure we're keeping everyone safe around here. So you'll see Jade's in a little lockdown area right now, even separate from that split fence line, because even with that fence line right there, there's still stuff she could grab and pull through. She could still end up hurting herself or hurting one of these individuals. So like I said, safety, safety, safety. So we've got her in her little separate area for now. She got a little chicken treat when she went in, little positive motivation, and when she gets out, she'll get a little treat on the other side of it too. So we got to keep that. That way she'll always lock down for us. She's in that really good routine of doing it. Now, if she wasn't in the mood and she didn't want to lock down and move, we might be having to pause for the cause today and having to wait till tomorrow to get things started. But she's really good. She's in a great routine of doing it for us. So she locked down quite well. Now we can keep these guys safe, keep us safe as well. They like to play with all the tools, but we don't want them playing with any of that stuff. So kind of like with Jade, we were talking a little bit out with safety and all these different facilities. Safety is the number one thing. We have visitors coming out to see us, so we have to make sure everybody's going to stay in the areas they need to be in. We've got public barrier gates. We have multiple gates people have to go through to get to animals. Cut that down. We have multiple gates that people end up needing to go through to get to animals. We always have staff posted around as well, so especially while we have the public out here, we can make sure everybody's staying safe and not doing anything they shouldn't be doing. And even when we have workers around, these animals, despite this fence line, it might keep the whole body out, but like I said, it doesn't always keep every part of the body out. So staying safely spaced away from the fence line, making sure we're not leaning tools, anything like that up against it. You can have a lot of issues that can go wrong with this. And like I said, we want to keep everybody safe on the outside of it, because these guys didn't ask to be born in captivity. But we got to make sure we're taking care of them, because there are lots of animals in captivity, unfortunately. We keep them for many different reasons. We get them from many different places, and they can be very dangerous animals. And that's why some of the times they're taken out of the places they've been taken out of. Sorry about that. So yeah, like I was saying before, we've got different gates to go through, multiple locks, different sections. You always want to have those different areas that they go into. You'll see we have little sally port areas for the animals to be going into separate areas and being locked away differently. And then even when it comes to if by chance an animal got out, we have safety procedures for that. We have different things that staff are going to start doing immediately to make sure everybody's taken care of, make sure we get that containment right away. Thankfully, we haven't had any of those issues come arise, but it's still something we talk about daily and something we always want to practice, because it could happen. We hear about it happening all the time, and the more we try to prevent it, the more we stay on top of it, the more likely we won't have a problem happen later down the line.
Whatever they can reach into, grab and yank, they're going to, because they're just looking to play and mess things up.
Jungle Jenn out here, and like I was mentioning earlier, Earthworks has already been out with us and done an amazing water feature that you can actually see one of our cats enjoying already. Like I said, tigers love to swim. It's been a little cooler, they're a little bit more active in that cooler weather, so especially right now, a little bit earlier in the morning, they're very curious as to what their neighbor has going on. So you'll see Colby right there, in fact. Around a 500 to 600 pound Siberian tiger for you, enjoying it. But this is an amazing item that these cats can have to enjoy. They sometimes get underneath it, they play with that fall that's coming off of it, and this is a little bit of a deeper pool, so it helps with that water flow in this pool as well. It kind of kicks that dirt around, because these guys aren't always the best at wiping their paws off before they go in. But it helps with that water flow. It actually helps keep the pool a lot cleaner as well too. So not only is it something fun for the cats, it's something beneficial for them in that pool as well. So these guys right here are the Amigos, and actually when Earthworks came back out to us, they originally had that awesome pool and water feature that you guys got a chance to see. However, we got to trade it around, let other cats enjoy it a little bit too. It is the only one we have at the time. We're working on number 2 now, thankfully. But these guys moved over. They still have a fairly large pool. You'll see Haley's right up top there enjoying her patio. We've got Adrian walking around, and in this very corner, you guys will see Rocky back there. Now, Rocky's actually a cross-eyed tiger. It's just something neurologically as to why they're crossing. We could do a surgery and fix it, but it would really only be a cosmetic surgery, so nothing important to take care of, and frankly, he looks a little cuter with them anyway, so we'll let him have his cross-eyes. But what's very interesting is we noticed when he went over to this pool, from the original pool that he had, this one has a little bit more of a gradual slope that goes down on it. So instead of actually just walking directly straight into the pool, he'll take his 2 top paws and he will walk around the edge of the pool, putting his back feet in slowly, and then he'll come down and get into the pool finally, because that depth perception's still off a little bit. So it's just something he has customized to in the way he likes to get in his pool. Little silly feature of him. So these guys have been with us a few years. They're actually our youngest tigers we have out here. They're only around 4 years in age. So you're still actually looking at a good year to 2 years of growth. They don't become full grown until they're about the age of 5. That's when they'll have that height to them, that length to them. Then within that 5th to 6th year, that's when they'll get that big body weight onto them. Now, we take these guys in for many different reasons. Sometimes facilities shut down. Sometimes it's private ownership. Sometimes you've got people that are breeding that thankfully are finally getting out of the business and not doing that anymore. You have state or federal confiscations. Lots of different reasons why we take these guys in. But we don't buy them, we don't sell them, we don't trade them, we don't breed them. And when they come to us, they come to us for life. So we take on all those little medical issues, even Rocky with his cross-eyes. That's just something that comes along with the territory. In fact, once these guys start hitting the age of 8, we're already going to start them on glucosamine as a supplement, because as they get older, those hip and joint issues, arthritis, that's a huge thing that comes into play with these big guys. In captivity, you can see them living up to 20 to 25 years. Keep in mind, that's like a 90 to 100-year-old person though. So there are a lot of age-related issues that come along with living that age. In the wild, they're lucky to see teenage years at all, because you just already have some problems that are going to stop them from being able to succeed in the wild like they should. Kind of a good average age, you kind of see that mid to late teens around here a lot.
We want to do something a little different this time and get a little bit more of a stream, so hopefully the cat can lay down inside of our stream that we did a flagstone and concrete set throughout this thing. So this build is definitely a little bit more different than our normal builds that we built for house, homes, kids. I mean, we're dealing with 500-pound cats here. So, I mean, we have to solidify a lot more of the rocks with concrete, worrying about her getting curious and digging stuff up with her claws. So we cannot have any liner exposed. So it's been a challenge, I mean, but that's what we do. One of the biggest challenges we had on this job is we used their excavator, and this one rock that's right here is easily over a ton. I would say it's closer to 3,000 pounds, 3,500 pounds. So we had to bring it in with their excavator, and I could barely pick it up. I had all 3 guys pushing up on the bucket just to lift it up enough to get it in here. So that was probably our biggest challenge, I would say, other than access. I mean, if you see here, we have the cage that we got to fit everything underneath. We have to come through cages the whole bit, so it's not easy doing this. But when you have the right team, I mean, we could do anything. So most of the rock that we have out here is our normal Tennessee fieldstone. But like I was telling you about that huge rock up there, that comes out of Missouri. It's called a weathered limestone. It has a lot more character and moss and everything else over it. So, I mean, if you want an upgrade, that's the rock to go with. All right, I'll see you, Mike. One of the other things that we have to take and consider is these cats. I mean, they can jump. Jen, how high can they jump?
Oh, I mean, a cat in a single bound, at least 4, 5, 6 feet.
So about 6 foot at the most. So if we had this whole waterfall over on this side, I mean, the cat might be able to jump out. So you got to think about where you're gonna be placing the waterfalls, so the cats can climb up on anything. They don't have to worry about them jumping out of the cage, eating people. Another thing that Mike was talking about on that last waterfall, we had these weird shelves that we had to try to build on. That one shelf that we're trying to get those big rocks vertical right away. It was challenging because we had such a narrow shelf to build on. With this one, we had a big platform that we could build our waterfall, and then the rest of it comes easy to us because it's the same kind of concept that we do the whole way back with our stream and building up and having soil to berm out. So it made it a lot easier on us this time than it was last, because every rock over there had to be concrete set because we were worried about them tipping and wobbling. All right, so today is Thursday. They are going to come in Saturday. They said they're going to finish the flagstone around the pool and all the way down. They're going to finish acid washing. They're going to fill this thing up. They have the pumps coming in Saturday. So we can't finish tucking everything and turn this thing on. It's kind of disappointing, but what can you say? Hopefully Monday, myself or Jason, we can get out here, finish everything up, turn this thing on, do any tweaking we have to, and then the cat can enjoy it.
Hey folks, so we are mostly a sanctuary for a lot of big cats, lions, tigers, leopards. However, we do have a few smaller guys here. We also have some non-cat members here. And then as it's hitting these winter times, we got a lot of different things that we end up doing for these guys. Now this little young lady right here, her name is Squeakers. She's a Coatimundi, and naturally these guys come from South Central America, maybe parts of Mexico or Cancun if you've ever been down there. They're not an endangered species whatsoever. However, they are really incredibly popular in the pet trade. Probably not the best pet to get either, guys. They got a few extra stinky surprises, and trust me, you don't want them in your home. But definitely made to be an outdoor animal. Now, South and Central America doesn't necessarily get down to 30 degrees or in the 40s around there, so we have to do a few extra things for some of these guys when it comes time for winter. If you want to come around this way, hey, cutie girl. If you take a look inside that box right there, you'll see she's got a few blankets, and blankets we give to these guys year round just so they can cuddle up, make her little den. And then inside there, she actually has a forced air heater. If you got a real quick look, you might have saw the panel that said 75 degrees on it. Spoiled rotten, this one right here. She gets a little heater, keeps it about 75. Those cooler days, we definitely don't see her quite as much, but it's a little bit warmer today, so she's kind of out and about. She's waiting on that second meal to come out for her. And speaking of winter prep as well, this young lady over here is Kayla Holla. She is our black Asian spotted leopard we've got in residence. Now, leopards are a little bit of a big cat. However, they're not as big as lions and tigers. So even for these guys, if you look inside her den box, you'll see we've got some pine chips in there for them. So sometimes maybe it's just extra bedding for these guys. If they're a little bit older, might be a heater that we give to them. Or if there's some of the smaller guys, could be a heater, could be some blankets. Just a few of the many things we do when it gets a little bit colder around here in Florida. Hey, cutie girl. So this is Blessing down here. She's one of the bobcats we have out here at Catty Ranch. You'll even see for this little girl, she's really young. She won't necessarily need a lot of supplemental heat for the winter. You find them in all 50 states throughout the U.S., so they are used to this kind of temperature and this kind of climate. However, in there, you may see she's got a little bedding. That stuff's actually called Excelsior or wood wool, and it's just finely shaved wood that they can take. We kind of fluff it out for them. You can see she smashed it actually down quite well because she loves to play in it and roll in it. Just something a little different that people have gotten us off of our Amazon wish list, or even maybe drop off as a donation. And speaking of donations and way to help out, that's what we run on here. Thanks to all the people that come out and visit us, we don't receive any city, state, or federal funding. So it's all thanks to our amazing volunteers, which we're probably about 80% run on volunteers. We got a lot of awesome guys out here. So if anybody's ever looking to help out, whether it be through monetary donations or maybe you got a little time and you want to come out and volunteer with us, we can always use the extra hands. Don't forget, we got 16 more of those water features and cabins and pools to build, and we're the ones that do it here, so we can always use. This thing is just about ready to go. In fact, we invited you here today because in just a few minutes, we're gonna get this all set up and running, and we're gonna let Jade out and see if she likes to try it or not. It's a little chilly, so I don't know how much she'll really want it today, but something fun for her all the same. So you guys will see we even went in, we added some plants and vegetation for her. She's got a little palm tree. We had some bamboo that we were able to put in there. Hopefully that'll stick, get a chance to really grow out, give her some fun vegetation that she can even hide, kind of ambush in a little bit. She can even use her cabin, so she'll be able to come straight off of the cabin and go right onto the top of the water feature and come down. And then that very bottom rock platform, I tell you what, this morning made an excellent sun deck. So first thing in the morning, I guarantee you, we're gonna see Jade on there once and twice, enjoying a little sunbathing action. Little Calvin Klein Obsession, little Axe body spray. Some of that scent enrichment stuff that we've talked about, and that'll really bring her over into this area. You can definitely start to smell it a little bit once you get a few sprays going. It's almost like the 80s in here with Obsession. Take a look and see if this thing's pulling through yet. And we have even tried this out with Earthworks here. They got a chance to see how well it was flowing, adjusted a few of the rocks to make sure they liked the way it looked, got everything locked into place. Then we came behind them, filled in some more dirt, finished up our flagstone, got the fence line down, and today's the day she gets to enjoy it. Is that in a couple weeks, I've got an Eagle Scout group coming out. So not only did Jade get a new little setup here, they're gonna work out fixing her steps for me. So she's getting a little remodel on her cabin, getting some new steps in replaced. One of the many ways the community comes out and help. We let them do Eagle Scout projects here. Sometimes it's building us hammocks, sometimes it's feed platforms. Just another great way that a lot of even younger individuals can get a chance to help us out. There we go. There we go. You guys can see that little river starting to fill up, and they laid that flat flagstone, so that's going to be a great place for her just to sit and lounge in the water. And you can already tell it's pretty deep in there because it still hasn't filled up enough yet for it to even start going over to the edge of the pool. All right, everybody, welcome back to Catty Shack, and I told you this surprise video was coming up, so I hope you guys are joining us. Don't forget to tell us where you're tuning in from. We love hearing from you guys. Hopefully everybody had a great holiday weekend, and guess who's getting an early, or late present, I should say. Let's go ahead and do this, though. Megan, why don't you let her out? Jade, come on. Oh. Which now she's been separated from this area for maybe about 3-4 weeks now. So it's the first time she's gotten a chance to play even just with her big pool again. So now she's getting back to enjoy her pool, and you'll see curiosity is going to get the best of her here.
Great opportunity. Check out everything. Those are Facebook photos for, that's your pose. Nighttime is Instagram. Wonderful work, as you can see.
Guys, trust me, she's going to be messing around, exploring this for a little bit longer. And as always, thank everybody for their support. Don't forget, at the end of these videos, like it, love it, share it at the end of it for us. That way everybody else gets to see and enjoy us out here. Thank you again, Earthworks. We always love you. We can't wait till the next one comes up. They said, where's ours? It's like, all right, now where's the chicken, everybody?
There's my buddy.
Merry Christmas, big girl. That's a good girl. I expect to see you lounging. Good girl.